Hey everybody, Matt Gear here for the Geek Pride cast on this Monday evening. With me tonight we have my co-host, Peter Allison.
Good evening, everyone.
And returning, our guest, Level Up Leroy. I'll speak in English. Level Up Leroy.
Hey gang, how's it going? You alright?
When was the last time we had you on? Was it like start of lockdown sometime? Was it?
Yeah.
I feel like it was lockdown. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I sort of done a couple of the online shows on Facebook. I think it was before I migrated to Twitch, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you started like doing virtual DJ sets like during lockdown, and I thought, yeah, we've got to get you on, just just promote what you're doing and kind of like celebrate. Share the love, because that's what I like about Geek Culture. Just like, people just came together and did stuff, and like yourself, like doing those just from the own home, off the back of your own, money and everything. Just did DJ sets for everyone and just put it up there. It was fantastic.
Well, it's good to have you back. So
it kept me.
Sorry, say again.
Thank you. It kept me sane as well.
Welcome back. For those who have not heard of you before, who have been living under the proverbial rock, or who didn't watch us, would it have been 2 years ago? Would it have been 2 years ago?
Outrageous.
2 years ago, who haven't been listening from 2 years ago, who is it? Who are you? What is it you do?
So I am Level Up Leroy. I am ultimately, I was just a Comic-Con DJ prior to lockdown, but since coming out, I've started finding myself as a Comic-Con host and hosting stages as well. So I'm now Comic-Con DJ and host.
And what Comic-Cons have you hosted?
So I've hosted MCM Comic Con in London,
nice.
And New York Comic Con on the Empire stage as well. So
the Big Apple.
In the Big Apple. So there was me and a friend of mine, Aussie Dave. So we were up on the stage. We like to call it the international stage. And we were doing things in there, and then there was some other guys and girls that I work with in another part of the team, and they were looking after some other stages as well. So it's kind of moving on and on and on, which has been great.
Yeah, I mean, Comic-Con DJs is a relatively new thing. I think the past 10 years, relatively speaking, it's only come out, hasn't it? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's. There's always been an element, sort of in the States more so, where they had a compere/host and somebody on stage DJing, very much like the talk shows that they have, like Ellen and things like that, where they have the DJ doing that kind of thing. So it's kind of that in-betweeny hype. And that was something that they've been bringing out in the American shows. However, over here in the UK, completely fresh, completely new, and I originally approached it. I'm now doing those stage host things, but I originally approached it as a DJ who wanted to initially put on a club night for nerds like me. I was kind of like, well, if I could go to a club night, I'm playing in this ordinary, quote unquote, normal club. And it's kind of boring me. It's not really what I want to be playing, the latest Beyonce song or whatever. What would I want to hear for me and kind of my people? And for the longest time, a lot of people said, I don't think there's anything in it, to be honest. So, and then, as I think we mentioned before on the last show, I got Bell's palsy. Half my face was paralyzed for about 3 months. And I thought, you know what? To hell with this. You live once. And I'm going to go for it, and hence reaching out to Matt and the guys at Area 51, who I'd worked with previously at other events, and did my first sci-fi weekender. Drove from Norwich to Wales, literally across the country. And Matt was like, "Look, it's all booked, but we know you. We know you're a great guy. You reckon you've got the show? Come and do it. We'll pay you in beer and a caravan." I was like, great. So I drove to 400 and something odd miles across the country.
You're based in Norwich, are you?
Yeah, you're saying it's not quite the edge of the world, but you can see it from here.
Great Yarmouth is the edge of the world, and you'll have to. That's where you're going. So
I mean, Great Yarmouth is now a joy for me. It's half an hour up the road. and the guys are like, do you need a caravan? I'm like, hell yeah. It's like my weekender. I'm getting hammered. I'm not driving home, guys.
Oh yeah, I mean, no chance. You know, you can't drink if you enjoy yourself if if you've not got a caravan. So yeah,
Exactly. I mean, I don't tend to drink when I'm working. I sort of have one or two beers, but for some reason, as you know, Sci-Fi Weekender, there's something special and magical about that. It's usually because everyone's hammered, so it's the one gig that we all get to have a really good drink, and then it's just a big nerd party, isn't it? And this time around, it's my birthday weekend, so
oh, is it? Oh, fantastic!
Yeah,
when
March
is
the
your birthday?
17th, St. Patrick's Day. So
Oh wow! What an auspicious day for a party, eh?
yeah, we'll get the Guinnesses out.
Definitely. Okay. Well, yeah. Wow, I did not know that. I will make plans.
Do you know what? I don't like Guinness. I'm a really bad Irishman. I don't know what it is. I've had like 2 pints of Guinness in my life, and both of them I hated. I went, well, I've tried. I'm just not a very good Irishman. I don't like Guinness.
I feel a bit the same. I always feel like I let down the St. Paddy's Day celebrations. I can drink about 2 pints. And then I'm full. It's just like it's dinner and a breakfast, dinner, and lunch. It's everything goodbye. It's like, oh.
They are very, substantial drinks, and you just feel, yeah, I'm just going to relax a bit now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the closest I get to drinking is Bailey's, and that's about once every 3 months, maybe, probably longer.
Bailey's.
Yeah, I love the stuff. It's really good.
I was going to say, are you? My mother drinks Bailey's, and she's
it's a gorgeous drink.
Okay, it's very.
It's a great drink. I mean, and they put it in coffees, and they put it in cakes now, and like they're putting it in everything. Bailey's, aren't they? So
it's my mother's tipple on a Christmas day. Oh, I'll have a Bailey's. She has a Bailey's. Very rock and roll.
So
very rock and roll.
I'll let you in on a little secret. My Christmas tipple is a snowball.
See, that's,
it's from my nan. She got me into them.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing, because my ex, from a while ago, her granny used to give the snowballs were a thing as well. So like, always had to have snowballs, and I was like, what the hell is a snowball? What's that?
Some eggy alcoholic drink with lemonade.
Yeah.
But
it's a joy on Christmas Day.
Yeah. It's like there's kind of that nostalgic feel, and like got a lot of memories for you, I imagine.
Yes, good memories. Yeah. It's a warming drink.
Very much. Yeah. I mean, I don't need drink to have a rock and roll time. I mean, hell, I just go along to Geek Camp and Sci-Fi Weekend, and I am just in my element.
I don't think I've ever seen you drunk, Pete. I think that's something I'd quite like to see.
Won't? Nope, you won't. No, I don't drink now. I definitely don't get drunk. Just doesn't bother me. Mostly because when I'm out clubbing, partying, what have you, I like to dance. I like to kind of like bounce around, enjoy myself. I never get drunk. I lose coordination, and lose coordination, I can't dance. And if I can't dance, I get angry at myself.
Yeah, I get that. Like I never used to drink. I was like one of those edgy sort of. I was into hardcore metal and stuff, and I was like, I don't drink, and I'm all about the music. And I was just like, one of my big things was dancing. I was like, if I couldn't get I couldn't get my air guitar out, and I couldn't get on the dance floor and have a dance, then I'd get very upset because it was the only thing I could enjoy.
I can't dance. That's why I DJ.
Oh yeah,
they would let me in a venue.
I can't dance. I can't dance
at all.
Enjoy the
if you call air guitar and sort of kind of foot on a stool now and again for the lead part of the air guitar, then that's my extent of dancing pretty much. So
yeah. Your DJ sets are a lot different to other DJs in that you have full video in time with your music. That must take you ages to kind of edit together.
Yes. in one word answer, yeah. It's because I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. I sit there on my computer I'll get this in time, and I'll
Yeah, but
spend nights
you do.
remixing the
That's the
track.
thing. You get it in time.
It's all part of the show. The idea was to make the show as immersive as possible, and to try and have those videos in time is actually quite. So I hope people don't. They sort of do realize that it's in time, but they don't realize that it's in time, and it's because actually when videos are out of sync with the song, it's quite jarring.
Yeah.
So yeah, to try and sort of put that all into one cohesive piece is it's usually a labour of love, bit time consuming. Spend a few hours on the Mac, and but then of course I am a DJ, so I do sort of bastardize other people's work as well. So I can't take the full credit for everything.
So
all
how
the
does
time.
how does that work? I'm not sure if obviously I've been to MCM and stuff like that, and I may have probably. Would you have done the DJing in the Fox or anything like that?
Yeah. So at MCM, for the last, well, literally, I did the first one at the Fox, the party at the Fox, the last one just before we went into lockdown. I was like, marvelous, here we go, great. Typical. After talking to the guys and trying to convince them that they needed to actually sort of get a DJ that plays to the audience, because they were always putting in their kind of standard, their Saturday night DJ, who is a great DJ, but plays the Pokemon theme 10 times.
Yes, he
or,
does.
You
Yes,
know,
he does.
Or Hooked on a Feeling like 5 times in the night. And it's like, because that's the geek go-to songs. And even though we're like 4 years on now, and I've been doing it, there are still people that go, oh, the Fox, they're going to play Pokemon 10 times. And I always have to say on the mic, this is the one and only time you're hearing this song tonight, people, so make it count. And then I play Pokemon, and they get it once and once only. But yeah, so like I would do in the daytime, I'd be on the stage at MCM, working with another host. We would play music and some games, etc., in between the panels. Which goes great. And then in the evening part, I mosey on into the Fox. I usually bring a guest with me as well. They do a little slot as well. And then, I set up my big screens and just play the 3 to 4 hours of pure geek music. So everything has that geeky feel or that tie-in for the best part. And it's like, everything from, again, it's just a club night for nerds, and I just expand upon it with some extra K-pop and some anime theme tunes and throw those in as well, just to try and be as inclusive of the night as it can be, because the big thing about the geek genre is such a geek is such a broad term, isn't it? There's so many different genres. Are you a D&D geek? Are you a comic book geek? Are you an anime geek? And there's so many, like, everyone's sort of pigeonholed into this geek kind of realm. So I try to make it as inclusive as I can.
I mean, also you also could take a lot of kind of musical genres altogether. You got like pop, K-pop, rock. And I mean, and that's what I really appreciate. Like, generally, my experiences has been generally it's been more poppy based, which doesn't that appeal to me that much. But yeah, you bring a lot of rock songs, and I'm just bouncing away in my absolute element.
Good, right? I'll put some more rock in for you this weekend coming up. Next weekend.
Next weekend. Oh wow.
I'm born in the 80s. I'm the MTV generation. I get bored sat in one genre. And I think that's where I've been really lucky and I've excelled in what I'm doing with the Comic Cons is there's a lot of DJs, great DJs that are, hey, I'm an 8-bit DJ, I'm a gamer DJ, so they play 8-bit music all night, or I'm a K-pop DJ, or I'm an anime theme. And because again, quite broad spectrum, I'm pulling from everywhere, going, right, I like that, so I'm gonna have that, and then we want that, we're gonna put that in there, and just to try and, again, be inclusive, bring everyone into one big geek party, as it were.
Yeah. How much do you plan your sets in advance? I mean, because they said there's all the video sync to kind of consider, do you kind of have a playlist set up, or do you sort of do it on the fly?
A bit of both. So
Okay.
there is preparation that goes into the sets. I know that there's songs that I want to play and I want to get to them. How that journey gets there very much depends on the audience. So I try to read the room, and if let's say, for instance, rock is going off or K-pop, I will sort of put extra amounts of that in to appease that audience and keep everyone happy. So yeah, there's always tracks that I know I want to get in. There's always some staples for certain shows. As we know, Sci-Fi Weekend always finishes on either the Wayne's World Bohemian Rhapsody or My Chemical Romance or something. So, or the last one actually was Bill and Ted. But that was from the lockdown, because I was playing that as my last song on the lockdown. So that might be the new thing. But there's always some shows I play where I know that this is going to be very much this way heavy or this way heavy. MCM, I tend to lean much more heavier into anime, K-pop as well, and put that in. Whereas at Sci-Fi Weekend, I don't play any of those genres because it's not that audience. For the best part. Maybe I'll slide a cheeky one in this coming weekend. Do a classic one. So so there's definitely thought and preparation. I have playlists and certain sort of genre playlist tracks set up and lined up. But yeah, I don't get to press play and it doesn't all
sit back.
But I would be so bored if I could. There are DJs that do pre-planned sets, almost press play, and that's kind of it, or they know exactly what they're playing. But I like to read the room. I want to enjoy the party as much as everyone else.
So you sort of see.
I'm surprised at what I'm playing.
I mean, so basically, you see what kind of songs are kind of the crowd's responding to the most, and then kind of tailor subsequent tracks to match the response.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, depending on the show that it is, if it's leaning more heavily towards sci-fi. So I mean, coming up very soon, I'm doing All 23, One Life Left. It's a gaming festival for 2 days in Norwich, and I'll be up on the stage. I'm going to be hosting that. Obviously, those sets are going to be more heavily gamer orientated, but we'll still sort of trickle in some of that other stuff and that other stuff. So yeah, play to your room.
How does that work with the video aspect of it? If you're kind of playing to the, you're reading the room. So obviously, if you've got videos and stuff, do you have set videos that go with set tracks, or how does that work?
Yeah, so I build it all together. I basically make life harder for myself by doing this. But the tracks and the videos I have pre-built to mesh with each other. And yes.
Yes, Levi makes life hard for himself.
It's
the best.
Short answer.
Techie. But there's stuff that I just know will work. And they work together and they're pre-locked in and we can throw them up and it's all good. So everything is pretty much on the fly. Just create work for myself. But I love it. I'd be bored otherwise.
I can remember during my experience with like your set is a bit I'll walk in the room and see you're playing, then I'll watch the screens for about 10 minutes, so I'm just kind of absorbing the music. It's feeling this kind of entire audio visual onslaught. And then it started like just jiving with the music.
Good.
And then it started start ignoring the screen, just bouncing around to the music. Occasionally look at the screen, but just feel the music and just go for it. So it literally is like an entire, audio sensory, onslaught to the brain, which is just a fantastic. But again, who needs a drink when you got that?
Your check's in the post, Pete.
Love that. Can we write that down? I'll get that on the website. I think I will actually. Yeah, I should. 100%. That's joy to me is to hear, because it's an immersive experience. I want people to enjoy it. I want people to sort of appreciate what they're seeing on the screen and then forget about it.
Yeah.
Like you're not there to watch telly as such.
Exactly.
You're there to have a great time. And I did get some kick. I've always been a video DJ since that tech came out. I was like the first one trying to play DVDs, music DVDs, and get them timing. And there was always a pause because you never press play and it was instant.
Yeah.
But I was like one of the first ones there, and people were like, "Oh, I don't know. I think it takes away from the experience." And in some ways, I think with music videos it might do, but with this geeky stuff that we do, it's because we live it, we breathe it. It's immersive. It's yeah. I hope, and exactly what you just said there, it just becomes a thing, and you're like, "Oh yeah, of course I'm dancing to this." And then you sort of forget about it. And if you try and recall the set later on, I would hope that you'd be like, oh, what did you play? Oh, I don't know, but it's just also great, and it's all all mushed in.
I can remember like the standard tracks in your sets, but I could never tell you the entire set.
Yeah,
it's one of the things that's like, yeah, I remember Queen's doing Flash Garden. Garden. I remember that one. Couldn't remember the ones before and after. But I remember just bouncing around, and also, of course, God Gave Rock and Roll to You from not Wayne's World, Bill and Ted.
What a track.
Just the other two.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you what else was there because it was just part of the experience.
Yeah, good, brilliant.
Lost in the flow of things. Lost in the flow of things.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's it. We're all there to enjoy ourselves in this culture, and it's in a safe space. We're amongst friends, we're amongst peers, and it's not, the amount of people that always come up to me at the end of the night. It's like, oh, thank you. It's so good that I can have this night, this club night, or this field to myself and party with my friends, because I wouldn't feel comfortable in going into whichever city and going into a Vodka Revolutions or whichever club bar it is, because that's not it's not for certain people. But everyone should be able to experience that party vibe in a safe environment, or and enjoy something that's for them. That's my belief anyway.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I was reading an article for Pace magazine looking at how sci-fi conventions in general could be considered a safe space for people wanting to explore gender identity, because it's essentially it's like it's a closed community, people there to dress up and have fun, and if someone's cosplaying as a different gender, then they're just cosplaying.
Absolutely,
that's it. And yeah, it's always been fantastic experience there for such a thing. And pretty much that's kind of, I've been speaking to various cosplayers that that are trans or otherwise, and they pretty much said, yeah, it's just a safe space, because if the worst comes to worst, they can just say, hey, I was just cosplaying.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it comes like a sort of safe. It's a metaphorical safety net, and it's very much what's called a liminal space, where at the end of the night, then go back to normal.
Yeah, or whatever normal is.
Whatever normal is to be.
Yeah, I know. I totally agree. The community that we have is the most welcoming, opening, and accepting community that's out there, because we do just accept the fact that people will dress up how they want, and we don't care. I feel like we were kind of the geeks and the nerds were the first ones that were just like, do it to make you happy. Yeah, great. Yeah. Carry on.
If anyone else, no, fine.
I think it's now obviously a bit more, the geek culture is a bit more mainstream these days. It's a lot more sort of, inverted commas, acceptable, and I think it's sort of it's not as taboo anymore and things. I think sort of modern, society, as much as you get judged and stuff, it's not. I don't think it's as bad maybe now as it used to be. Well, when the reason Geek Pride was created was sort of simply just because of that sort of like the whole sort of thing about nerds. But I think with conventions and TV programs like The Big Bang Theory and stuff like that coming out, where it's sort of more acceptable, I think.
Well, also, I think it's Neil Stevenson said it once, which was, we are all geeks now. I mean, look at the fact, like, one of the biggest TV shows in recent years was Game of Thrones. Everyone was a fantasy geek. Okay, seasons 7 and 8. The Expanse, massively successful. 6th season, okay, could have been a bit longer, but no, it was a really good TV show. Sci-fi, fantasy, and horror is now becoming mainstream. We are getting mainstream shows out there. American Horror Story, for example, and it's here. Geek is considered mainstream. The biggest film franchise at the moment is the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I've always, worn my geekery on my sleeve and such. And so at school, I wanted to be a comic book artist or an animator and did art and was always drawing. That was my thing. And I never hid that away that I collected comics or any of that kind of stuff. But it's kind of funny that years down the road, there are people that are coming out now and they're like, oh, yeah, I love comics. Yeah, it's all great. And like, you never sort of expressed that love at school, or you never sort of showed that love throughout the years. But now, as it's become more acceptable, I think people feel more comfortable sort of saying, oh, yeah, love a bit of D&D. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Like, obviously, what's it called? Stranger Things. Yeah, my sister, who's been like, my whole family are nerds, but like we grew up playing computer games and stuff like that. But she and a lot of her friends in the village I come from were like all talking about playing D&D because obviously went, oh, that looks really cool and stuff because they were seen it on Stranger Things, and they were like, and some of these guys, she was talking about playing with. And I was like, what? D&D? I'm sure they would have beaten me up when I was a kid. Sort of now they're like, they want to play D&D, and it's just it's becoming more of a thing.
That's good. They've educated and learned and realized, hey, D&D is fun. Role playing is fun.
Like I remember, and I can remember this quite specifically. Whereas, like when I grew up. I was into Warhammer. I was in like the Warhammer club when I was in sort of school. Played D&D, did all that stuff. Then obviously I got slightly older, and girls. And I was in the rugby team and stuff, so you couldn't. It wasn't so accepting then. So you had to sort of kind of hide away. So you'd have this sort of kind of dirty little weekend where you go into Games Workshop or sort of something like that, and sort of like buy something. In those days, they used to give you non-Games Workshop bags because they knew people were a bit sort of iffy about sort of buying stuff like that. So they give you like this big, like this red bag or something like that, sort of you put it in. But I remember being in like starting up a LARPing, and like I wasn't into the LARPing side of things, but I was into the wargaming side of things in university. And my friends in university gave me so much shit about starting off a geeky society that I stopped doing it because I felt like I was being, and it was like, it was really bad thinking back on it now. Like, I got so much grief about it when I was in university. Like, what are you doing with all these nerds and stuff? And like, I was into this stuff, but I wasn't fully accepting sort of like, I was like, at the time I was a metaler and I had longish hair and I was into sort of heavy metal and things. It's like, oh, I'm just a metaler. I'm not a geek. And then it just got to a point where, I think it got to the point where I was just fed up with it all. And I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. And I said, you know what, Games Workshop, just give me the normal bag, the one with the logo on it. I'm just walking out of here sort of with the Games Workshop bag. That was the first moment where I went, I don't care. And that was the day after I started Geek Pride. And I was just like, right, that's it. And just sort of give up.
Yeah,
good man.
Yeah. Do you still do your art, or is it like transition to doing art on the tablet and laptop now?
So I sort of the art kind of went by the wayside as I got older. Again, girls and work and stuff like that.
Girls got a lot to answer for.
Where I say girls, interesting girls, not actually going out with or dating or doing anything. I was too horribly shy for that as a geek. I kind of got into DJing, and as stuff like that progressed, and Unfortunately, this isn't. I love drawing, and every now and again I do pick up. And I'm old school. I'm a pen and paper kind of
Yeah.
guy. I can't do it on a computer. I sketch sometimes on my iPad, but not very often. But I don't have the time. So
Yeah.
I've got three wonderful children. I've got a partner. I've got a day job, and then I'm trying to become the world's greatest Comic Con video DJ, and then I'm trying to create new content all the time.
But then
And
creating content and doing all those videos is art.
that's now my new art, and it's
Yeah.
thankfully it's the art that makes me a little bit of money. Not as much as I'd like, thank you, but it's I'm very privileged to be able to do something that I love and absolutely adore, and create those videos and things at home, and then go out and play them, and sometimes get paid for them. Which is great.
So what's on the docket for 2023 then? So what's going
on? So heading back to New York Comic Con, which is great, really great news. I'm in talks at the moment. Well, they've asked me to come, so I'll be going out to Cyprus as well.
Nice.
For Cyprus Comic Con.
Oh, wow.
So I did those guys, I think it was back in 2018, and then they were having a year off, and then they were going to come back, and lo and behold, COVID. Hoping to go back. I believe I should be heading back to Disney for New Year's Eve. So
wow.
Florida again. That went exceptionally well. In chatting with my friend out there at the moment, but maybe doing something this summer, but we'll see. And then I'll say One Life Left. 23, the gaming festival. Oh my word. Sci-Fi Weekender. MCM, 2 in London, 1 in Birmingham. What's am I doing? Star Wars Celebration.
Star Wars Celebration.
In April. Yeah, I'm at Star Wars Celebration. I'll be there during the daytime of the show. I'm doing the fan meetup on the Thursday night for Bunta Eve, which is going to be in the Breakfast Club in London. And then I'm in the Fox on the Friday night and Saturday night. Prior to getting to the Fox on the Friday night, I'm doing the 501st Bash. I'm doing the first set there. I've got my friend DJ Elliott from the States. He's doing the second part. So I'll be doing the 501st Bash, running across London, getting to the Fox, playing there. And then on the Sunday night, I'm playing at Cantina, #Cantina2, with my friends from Bruce Harvest, Darth Elvis, and of course the guys from Ash, who I've worked with before in the past as well. And of course DJ Elliott will be there as well. And that's in the legit O2 on the Indigo stage, which is where Prince has played. So
wow.
That's going to be insane. And then finishing up the Monday. So that's a big week.
Yeah.
That hasn't been sort of confirmed or gone out yet, but maybe it's an exclusive for you guys. I'll be doing the Fab Cafe in March.
Oh, wow.
Not March, beg your pardon. May the 4th be with you. So I'll be
in
Manchester.
Very cool.
Oh, no, Fab Cafe. Yeah, you're going to be all that. When's that? Might come down and see you then.
For Star Wars Day.
Oh, shit. Okay, cool.
Right, Matt, you're going to go there. Got it.
May the 4th. Nice. All right, cool. I'll come down. It's Fab Cafe.
Yeah. Be with you.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing that. There's a few of the conventions that I've just recently they've said no, we want to try and use local DJs, which is a shame, but hopefully the local DJs can play some geeky stuff. And then I'll give you guys an exclusive.
Ooh.
I'm also putting together my own shows I'd like to take out, and it's going to be called Mosh Udon. So udon as being the thick noodles that you get from Japan, and mosh being just a crazy party. So it's going to be a K-pop anime inspired club night, which I want to take round to some of the Comic Con. So I'm just talking to a few people now as we speak about trying to take that to a few few conventions as an after party idea.
Yeah, because they've got Anime Con, haven't they, in the UK? A few Anime Cons.
There's one in Manchester coming up soon, actually.
Yeah, one in Sheffield as well. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's the what are those guys? I haven't worked with them, but yeah, is it Anime League?
Yes, Anime
yes,
League.
Yes,
Anime
yeah,
League.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and then there's Anime Con, which is going to be in Birmingham, and I'm currently working with those guys as well. So, so I'll be in Birmingham in the summer.
Wow.
So, yeah, keeping busy, spinning lots of plates, and then just trying to grow the brand and grow what I do and get out there a little bit more. So,
how does your kind of DJ approach change from country to country? You've done like Cyprus, you've done America, and you've done UK. Do you find that's like different cultural differences in terms of like the appreciation, or is it just same thing and just read the room and go?
Yeah, I do me. So
yeah.
It's this is what you're getting from the show. This is what I've done. I can't alter it because this is for me. This is a passion project as well. So
this is who you are.
This is who I am. This is what I do. I'm just very lucky that it's in this niche space that we live in. So yeah, I do tend to find the guys over in Cyprus are absolute party animals. So when I did that first after party for them, being Cyprus, it's outside, it's lovely and warm, even at night, and we've got some big screens up, and oh my word, they really party hard. Then my guys in America go crazy as well, as you probably assume, with the hooping and the hollering. But yeah, it's I tend to find the audience for the best part is the same, which is good for me.
Fantastic. One thing I want to ask as well is you're also doing like hosting as well. So how did that come about?
Kind of pure sort of came about sort of by accident, sort of by me pushing for it. So reaching out to the guys and at these various shows, seeing what they were doing over in the States, and seeing that they had this kind of DJ and a host kind of thing going on. It was like, well, maybe during the day, rather than just doing an after party, is there any way that I can double up my exposure? And can I be at the convention in the day and then go and do an after party in the evening? Because as we know, that if we take the Fox, for instance, that after party isn't an official MCM after party. It's just because it's next to the Excel, and it's a thing, right? It's just become, we're going to the con and then we're going to the Fox. It just happens. So if I'm at the Fox and I'm sort of integrating myself with the comic conventions and talking to a lot of people from the conventions, and I would normally go in and walk around and get to that point where people start to know who you are as well, which is great. You can go in and have a chat with them, and then it's kind of like, well, why don't I come in and play some music, while we're waiting for the next moderator to come on? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And we can engage this audience that's coming through and keep them entertained in the day. And for the best part, most of the conventions are like, that sounds great. Yeah, let's do that. And you get to come on and come off. And I mean, it's incredible. Like, especially going to conventions like New York, you get to see all of the stars coming in. So it's all of the guys. I got to meet all the guys from Picard.
Oh, nice.
Came in, and the new Netflix show Wednesday.
Yep.
They all came in. I was one of the first people outside of Netflix to actually hear the theme tune, because I had to play it for the walk on. And
of course.
Right, here's the flash disc. This is the theme tune. We need you to play it at exactly this time when the trailer finishes. It's this. Do not put it online. Do not do this. Do not do that.
Sign this.
Do not scratch over it. Don't try and remix it. And while you're here, and it's like, no, that's fine. And so you get to do these incredible things. And same, the anime side of things, we had the guys from Viz come in and they did a whole Bleach presentation, and yeah, it was awesome. So you kind of get to come out, play music, hype people up who are already excited. So you can hype these people up to a point where they're just in a frenzy, and they'll sing along, put hands in the air, puts lights up and stuff. They're then ready for whoever to come out onto stage and talk about this thing that they're super passionate about. And it's like you build that energy so that when the moderator comes out, the room is warm for them, and off you go. I've even done some moderating as well.
Fantastic. Who you moderated?
I can't remember the guy's names, but yeah, it's the guy who's they played Harry Osborn and Peter Parker in the the newest Spider-Man cartoon that was on Disney.
Okay.
I can't remember the guys' names, but they've done loads of anime and stuff like that as well. That is my problem. Is once I've done something, it goes.
Yeah. Well, you're just focusing about the next kind of job.
It really is. Yeah. But doing some moderating and stuff like that has been really fun as well. So and that's usually when I'm thrown in the deep end, when they're like, "We haven't got a moderator." It's like, I'll do it. Quickly, have a look on Wikipedia. Right, what have we got? Right. Oh, I know these guys. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
I did some moderation at the ill-fated Blackpool Comic Con many moons ago, and I did it for Game of Thrones. So we had like this massive, like all the Game of Thrones stars were on stage at once, and I was doing it with another fella, and I was shitting myself because I was just like, there's so many people from this show that I watch, and you had oh god, he plays Rob Stark. He played Rob Stark. Madsen. And it had it had Daniel Glover, not Daniel Glover. God, names. What's his first name? He was in Star
Glover.
Wars. What's his first name?
Yeah.
What's his first name?
Julian Glover.
That's it. Julian Glover. That's it. Yeah. Julian Glover. You had loads.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah. And you had Miltos. What's his second? Miltos. I can't pronounce his second name. He played Sirio Farrell.
Sirio Farrell. Yeah. Miltos Uranos.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And because I had like a million, I'd done the most research I could ever have done in my entire life about every single Game of Thrones thing, so I could ask different questions to different people and stuff like that. And I asked him a question, and he went off in this massively long sort of kind of explanation about it, and I was like, brilliant. So I started thinking about something else, and then I think he asked something to me, but I completely blanked him because I didn't realize I was paying attention to what I was going to do next, so I didn't hear him. So I was basically ignoring him in front of everybody, and I turned around and everybody was looking at me and laughing, and I was like, okay, so I just carried on with it, completely oblivious to what was happening. And then afterwards, I found out that he'd asked me a question, I ignored him and stuff, and I was just like, oh shit, I feel so bad. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely, I find remembering the names of people so hard. This character and this actor, I'm all about the characters.
Yeah.
How people remember all the actors' names, I will never know.
Well, I prep massively. If I know what's coming, I will literally sit down and work out 15 questions. I will have the actor's name and the character name, and just have 15 questions all set out ready. And I'll have more, but 10 questions is usually enough, but I'd like to have 15 questions, like just in case like one word answers and so on.
Backup. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's sort of let the conversation flow and just kind of let the actor direct it, let the author direct it. And then if you end up going in a different direction, fine. That's what they want to talk about. That's what we're going to talk about. Also, if you've got a chance, I will literally message them beforehand. I'll kind of contact the agent and listen, just going to just introduce myself and just say hi and just kind of go over a few. I'm Pete. I'm going to interview you on stage. Anything you particularly want to cover? What do you want to talk about? Because maybe there's things they want to kind of promote, discuss, or things that they're passionate about.
Yeah, especially if they've got like a book or a new show coming out that
Exactly.
you don't know about.
That's not
You
being
haven't
announced
told.
yet.
Yeah, you're getting the scoop.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really like to chat with Victor Dorobantu at there's going to be a sci-fi weekend because he played Thing in Wednesday, and I'm really impressed with how he basically made his hand so personable. His hand had personality as Thing.
Had a character, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what the people don't understand is it's actually a guy. It's not like it's not CGI or anything.
It's not CGI, it's animatronic.
Yeah,
it is literally someone's hand with blue screen.
Yeah.
And just the way he kind of moved the hand gave it such character for a hand. I mean, and that actually one thing I want to ask is, are you could be including like tracks and wins? I mean, you had that that really viral dance from.
It's kind of strange because the Lady Gaga song that is what went viral with Dance with My Hands is not the song that's in the show.
But
yes, I will be. Yes, of course, I'll be playing some stuff.
I will have to ask.
yeah, that's definitely going into the set. I think that'll be a mainstay for geek shows for my geek shows for quite some while. That Wednesday show really has hit home with a lot of people, hasn't it? I mean, she's so talented as an actress, but I think it's just it's caught a lot of people's attention and sort of really sort of become an instant hit, hasn't it? Up there with like Stranger Things and stuff.
See, that's the one thing I find interesting is you have if somebody had dressed up like Wednesday Addams and done that in a dance or something, they no doubt would have been mocked to within an inch of her life and generally sort of shunned by society. But because it's on Netflix and it's sort of kind of now become a thing, it's sort of accepted. So it's the same with like any of these big things.
I will caveat that, Matt, with the fact it depends what clubs you go to. You go to like corporation or
I understand that rock clubs. Yeah, so you've got like she was doing what they call the wavy tree dance when you had it in Jilly's Rock World in Manchester back in the day and stuff. You had these, for me that was what when you went to goth nights and stuff like that. That's what they sort of kind of dress. But like it's now become more widely like all you had to check like TikTok or something the next after it, and like the amount of people who you would just not associate with that sort of thing were doing like reactions to or dressing up like Wednesday Addams and sort of doing the dance and stuff.
But also that's good. It's again, geek is inheriting the earth.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying it's just interesting that all it takes is a Netflix show to get your sort of niche accepted by society, I guess.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? And the speed that these people come out with and learn these dances and get their TikTok videos up as well. It's incredible.
And I don't know how people do that. Like my TikToks are literally just me walking my dog, and that seems to be all right. But I don't know how people do all these sort of kind of really intricate story-based ones and stuff. I'm just like, I just don't have the mental capacity for it, even for 60-second TikToks.
I struggle with TikTok. I've got a little following on there, but I think most of my following seems to be on Facebook and Instagram. But I'd like to grow TikTok, but I just don't kind of get it. I post videos and they don't.
Oh yeah, man! Like I've got 3, right? So I've got the Geek Pride one, which is about 1,000 followers, and the stuff that because we do think at the end of the show, which I thought would catch on, but it's not really that. No, people aren't that interested. We still do it because it's quite a cool thing, but I don't put on TikTok as much these days because it doesn't seem to get much traction. So it's just now and again you get the odd video people are interested in. So it's 1,000 views. I've got a History Geek one, which I do. It's got about 5,000 followers. And again, I'll spend loads of time doing research on the history side of things, and it'll be some random controversial video that sort of gets views and nothing else. And then I have my personal one, which is effectively my dog one, and literally it's got 150,000 or 146,000 followers, and it's because my dog came out of the snow one day and looked cute and got 13 million views on one video, and that was it. And it was just like from that point on. So like it's just mad. Like you can spend all this time and effort doing important things, or you could just get your dog looking cute and coming out of the snow, and there you go, boom, viral.
I have one TikTok video. It is me wielding the Darksaber at the Mandalorian Forge in London
cool.
about 2 weeks ago. Do you know how many views? Do you know how many views it's had?
How many?
50.
Well, you see, if you've only got one video, Pete, you need to have 4, I believe, to have a good, for your algorithm to be worked out or something like that. It's all
I
very.
don't have the time.
It's all very weird. It's all very weird. And it's like some things just take off out of nowhere, and some things just get like my videos. Like we've got 146,000 followers on my TikTok, my dog's TikTok, and you get. Like my dog's TikTok. It was me. I started off in lockdown doing like Ron Burgundy sort of like Anchorman sort of kind of lip syncing things, which I thought were hilarious. They were like literally me and my girlfriend at the time doing sort of do you know who I am? And it's like and it's just like I just sort of like just doing these back and forth things, and I thought they're hilarious. Nobody was interested. Then my dog comes in. He gets his first video got like 250,000 views just by him sleeping. Another one got 50,000 views doing this, and it's like, what is this? So it's like doing more with him. But your average video with him of me explaining how to sort of raise a bear effectively, they get 2,000 views or something like that. And then suddenly out of nowhere, one will just go boom, catch, and you're looking hundreds of thousands of views. Not that you get very much money for it. I get 2p for every 1,000 views and stuff. It's not sort of. It's not. Look, I'm not making a lot of money off TikTok, let's just say. But it's just weird. It just suddenly explodes, and it's just out of nowhere. There's no sense to it whatsoever. I've got loads of people who I follow, and they just get really upset about they put all this effort into their videos and they get nothing, and then suddenly this one random video theirs goes up, and it's just like the least sort of thought out one they've done. It's just really bizarre.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, the world of TikTok.
Again, I think it's just one of those things that I just don't do video really, other than obviously Skype and stuff like Skype, podcasts and all that. The kind of setup and everything, I just never really. Again, it's just a skill I'm not really fully developed, and really should probably look into myself.
Yeah.
What I want to ask, Levi, is like when you were doing your virtual lockdown sets, how did you set all that up? Because that looked really, intense in terms of on the tech side of things.
Yeah, it really was. So I was in a different house at that time. I had a big kind of play area space basically, and I basically set up a sort of a full DJ stand that I had with all of my equipment on, green screen. I had the lights, like the I can't even explain it really. The sort of lights that you would see on a TV sort of floor, where they're filming TV shows, with the white and the black kind of big things. I had them, so I'd have to set them up so that the light on the green screen wasn't bouncing too much.
Yeah, it was even.
Yeah, so it was all even. Yeah, so it was basically this kind of the back end of this wall was kind of just green with all my decks placed, and then a camera sort of strategically placed. And I kind of, because it was lockdown, I kind of was able to just leave that setup as it was. Basically, it was a beautiful summer, so my kids were kind of more interested in playing outside and stuff like that, and there was still half the playroom as well anyway. And they sort of got to the age where Xboxes are way cooler than toys and things like that as well. So so it was just it was really quite intense. I did sort of, when I moved to try and set it up again and do it show, and it was over like it was nearly 2 hours worth of saying this stuff
Wow.
to try and do a show. And by the time I sort of set it all up and got ready to do it, I was like, I'm not really feeling this now. And then I did the show, and then it was like, oh, now I've got to pack it all down again. Hence not sort of following on with the online show. But I really did enjoy it when I was doing it, and I'm sort of looking at a few changes coming up very soon. Looking to move again, have a bit of a bigger space and stuff like that, and who knows, maybe start doing some sort of radio show or something like that again. I used to have a radio show. It was on Future Radio here in Norwich, and you can still get some of the episodes. I think they're up on Mixcloud, and I used to just play kind of geeky music. It was kind of K-pop and anime theme tunes, and then some of the remixes that I would play at Sci-Fi Weekender, and some gaming music. It was just a bit of everything, really. It was just sort of kind of 2-hour show. So I might like to revisit something like that, or do something like that. I know the Sci-Fi Weekender's got a radio.
Yeah, SFW Radio is currently going, or very soon will be. It's it is growing, I think is the best way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know they sort of reached out to me, and I said, like, I'd love to, just not quite at the right sort of. Yeah, I haven't got time for it right now. But yes, in a few months' time, hopefully, when some sort of changes have happened, and then have some time and be able to sort of focus on that side of it and put out some more content. Because as we know, and as we were just saying about with TikTok and stuff, it's all about, certainly for me, is putting out content, and social media is half of my job. It feels like, although I don't really do much on Facebook, I always feel really bad because people follow my page and you're doing this, you're doing that, and then I have no idea what they're doing, because I've got to the point where I'm like, right, I'm on Facebook or whatever it is, I'll drop everything that I need to drop on the information of where I'm going to be or what I'm doing in the remix, and then I kind of get off. Rather than, I think we've all probably found that there's those nights where we just all night, and sometimes so counterproductive. So
tell me about it. You can get so lost
very
in
much.
that.
You can, and so I'm very much of the mind where social media needs to be a tool, and a platform, and then don't let it. If I'm doing that, I'm not remixing, or I'm not doing something else. It's much more important. So, that's kind of where I get to with that. So,
it is so important, though. It's just so many, you need to be multi-platform, basically, to sort of kind of hoover up as many sort of kind of people as possible. So for us, because it's not a job, it's just a labor.
It's a passion.
It's a passion. It's a labor of love. We don't get paid or anything. The website definitely doesn't make any money. So it's just sort of like, it's just something we do as a thing. Whereas yourself, it's a living. So you've obviously got to be on top of it. So for us, if I don't add stuff to TikTok, or I don't add things to things, it doesn't matter, it is what it is. But with you, I guess you have to be more mindful about your presence in the world.
I do. And there's times where I haven't posted for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. I think, oh no, I need to post something. What can I post? You have to try and make it meaningful as well. So there's no point in posting for the sake of posting. I don't quite like to do that. I sort of very early on sort of gone back and had a look at my posts and think, why did I post that? It has no bearing on what I'm doing. I was posting for the sake of it. So now, and since I've done that, actually made those changes, definitely see more of an uptake actually in what I post. So, which is good.
For TikTok, have you ever thought of, like, it's all about gimmicks and stuff for TikTok and stuff, isn't it? And it's like, our gimmick wasn't actually our own. It was a
inspired by.
I'll not say ripped off. We had the guys from the Straight Shoot podcast. It's like a wrestling podcast, and they do this sort of 20 questions type thing about wrestlers, and we thought that's a good idea. We could do something for Geek, the Geek franchises and stuff, different sort of Geek franchises.
Yeah.
It didn't work for us as well as it's worked for them. But there's obviously these sort of kind of niche. I don't know, sort of if you've got, I don't know if the different songs that you play, and sort of kind of a bit about them or something. I don't know what you could do to sort of kind of get your TikTok presence better. I don't know. People do like sort of informative things, but fun things as well, which I think you could do really well, actually.
Yeah, I've sort of tried to with the TikTok again, because as they keep telling us on social media, you're supposed to try and mix it up. So there's no point in having an Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and they're all the same, because people want to see different things on different platforms. But I tried to do sort of a couple of silly videos where I was sort of like, I did a Japanese Spider-Man, the Japanese Spider-Man theme remix.
Oh, right, okay,
and
cool.
It was kind of like, because that was always for me, like those old Japanese sort of Toei programs, just amazing. They blow my mind. But and that Japanese Spider-Man always was like, and now it's sort of coming to the forefront, especially with Spider-Verse. But anyway, by the by, I was like, I'll do a Japanese Spider-Man remix. And I kind of did this silly video where I was like, filmed myself watching it, and I was like, oh, that's a tune. And then ran off, grabbed the CD, put that on. Then it went to the computer, showed the remix, and then went to the video, and then sort of tried to promote the video off the back of that.
I don't think it's a bad idea, man.
It flopped.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the thing is, like, it's more like I said. My dog's videos. All it took was one, and the other ones, they mosey along. Like recently, they were all like, 2,000 views, 1,500 views, 3,000 views, and then one randomly got 65,000 views, and then it sort of dropped down, and it's sort of all it takes is just the one, and then that can increase. Like that dog video where I got sort of 13 point, I think it's verging on 14 million views now, but that increased me from 30,000 followers to 120,000 followers in the space of 2 days. It's just sort of like, all it takes is one video to go well. So it's sometimes, I guess, if it feels like, and I should take my own advice and do this for the Geek Pride one and stuff, but it's just sort of like all that you need, it's more me being sort of in my own head and lazy and stuff, but it's like all it takes is that one video. And I've seen, because there's a guy I follow, and he does sort of like he's like a rapper, but he does all these little quirky things where he's just like, he goes into a room and he plays himself as the producer, but then he plays himself as the rapper, and then he plays himself as his strange brother who's making a flute out of a carrot and stuff like this. And he does he's really good. It's really good music. Like, he's really good, and he sort of kind of he's like, oh, what's going on? And he does this, and then he kicks into his song within that skit. And I love them. I think he's really good. And I think those sort of things, it could work.
Okay.
Similar things, like just exactly what you just said you were doing.
I'm halfway there, though, maybe. Maybe I should carry on. I'll see if I can do a few more, but then that also means I've got to remix everything. Oh.
Yeah.
And
that's more.
All it takes, like I said, man, all it takes is one video.
Time do we... basically, actually, all I heard was you were going to lend me your dog, and I was going to get myself a few million followers.
He's called Boromir, so he's a geeky dog. So he's called Boromir.
Just WhatsApp me a couple of videos. I'll post them. Job done.
He's not been pulling his weight recently. It's just like trying to do this, and it's like, I've got a fluffy dog. Come on, and it's just like now and again people are like, yeah, but it's the same. It's the thing is, I've got myself pigeonholed now. I am definitely within pets and animals within TikTok now. I can't verge, like if I kind of go, oh look, I'm a massive nerd, and I like check out the podcast, people are like, I'm not interested, show us your dog. And I've got to the point where like I've been on lives and like I've been sitting there, and at one point in time I was talking to the camera about other things, and they went, I'm sorry to be forward, but can we just see your dog please? And it was just like, people, they didn't want to hear from me, they were here for my dog. So literally now whenever I do lives, I literally just point it at my dog and talk in the background.
But to be fair though, I mean, that is like marketing 101 is branding. And if you get known for something, then it's expected. I mean, that said, I kind of very much separate out my personal life and professional life. On Facebook, it's purely friends only, unless it's my Facebook page, which is my journalism stuff. Twitter is very much my professional stuff, so I'm doing about journalism, cybersecurity. That said, when I was in London for that tech conference, one day was all about The Mandalorian, Star Wars, Darksaber. Oh, look, photos of Mandalorians and cool helmets. Next day, tech conference. Oh, look, cybersecurity. So, yeah, I was kind of like not following my own advice really, but thought, this is so cool. I'm going to share this anyway, and I don't care.
Yeah, but people aren't turning around to you and go, Pete, okay, enough of your nerdy. Get back to the cybersecurity, please. Right? I was just like, literally, we don't want to hear from you, Matt. And you're literally the glorified cameraman for your famous dog, and it's just like, okay. I think my thing is I've got a famous dog. I'm not, and it's just like, here you go. So I just sit there, point my camera at my dog. This is him pooing. This is him being an asshole, and this is what he does. It's just like that's all they're interested in. Okay.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, man, it's all about dogs. It's just it's mad. Unfortunately, like there's another one called K9 Mattis. He's like he's a copper in America who trains canines. He's got a dog called Mattis, and he's got millions and millions of views and stuff. He follows me as well, which is my claim to fame. But he
obviously
he does some really good skits and stuff. But it's just, I just don't have the mental capacity to do these things and stuff. It's literally me. It's just literally, this is my dog, and he's doing all these really intricate sort of kind of things that you get on TikTok, and I'm just like, I can't do that. I just don't have it. Yeah.
Well, you've inspired me. I'm going to do more skits.
It's all it takes is one. Like I said, you'll get loads, and they'll just. But Geek Pride's on 1,000, right? And all it took was like, it's not loads, but there was nothing. I got nothing for ages, and then suddenly one. I can't even remember which one it was. Went really well. It's the same with my. It was the same with my History Channel one and stuff. It's like I had nothing. Nobody's interested in my. I thought these are really like I put a lot of effort into my history ones, and it was something about the Scotland meaning the land of the Irish, and that just got like that exploded, and then I went from like 20 followers up to 5,000 followers and stuff on that and stuff. Just over one video, and all it takes is one video. So all you need is that.
Very true.
So
I
anyway,
did a couple of YouTube videos. I know I did some YouTube videos in lockdown where I was sort of talking about comic books and things like that, and they got a little bit of traction. But again, it's just so much effort with all the production that you have to put in behind it.
Yeah.
It's not just putting up a video and like going, oh, here's a 20-minute video of me talking about comics. It's a morning of filming and editing, and then putting it all together, and then getting it all prepared, and then putting together a picture to go on top of it, and all. Oh,
that's my life. That's my life. So me and Pete will go to the UK Games Expo, and we'll do. Pete's like, let's interview this person. Let's interview, and there'll be like 20 interviews, and I was like, that's really good. We've got 20 interviews, and then Matt goes, oh shit, I've got 20 interviews I've got 20 interviews to edit, and it takes me like 2 weeks worth of editing to get them all down, and then 20 people watch one of them and stuff, and
UK Games Expo. That's one I'd like to play.
Oh, yeah, so that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
I've reached out. They've never done that to me.
Wow.
It's definitely one of my favorite.
I need some friends on the inside.
Well, I've recently actually done an article for the UK Games Expo program for this year called Why Roleplay. So that was very cool to me.
Well, you've always been one of my favourite, Pete.
We've had John Dodd is a guy.
John Dodd.
Yeah, John Dodd.
He's the roleplay coordinator manager for that stream of content and games.
Yeah, he was on the podcast. Nice chap. But yeah, it's by far one of my favorite conventions, just because it's so. The one thing I get about it that the one thing I like about sort of general conventions, it's not the convention itself. It's the people watching, and it's like the after parties and the stuff like that. Like watching the DJ, enjoying the people and stuff like that. You go into the convention, and it's like how many stalls with pop figures can you see? And then it's like the same Funko Pops, and it's the same sort of thing. And you see that in all the conventions. So it's like I'm not really interested in that. It's about the the cosplay and the sort of interactions with people and sort of seeing things like your show and stuff. Whereas UK Games Expo, the stalls kind of interest me because it's always changing every year and stuff. Like, granted, you got some similar stuff, but it's like, because I'm massively into my board games and stuff like that, and I'm just like, oh my god, there's some new games. Like, oh my god, there's these, and it's all because there's all these developers who come in, and they've always got new stuff every year. There's
Always
new
new
stuff
stuff,
going
yeah.
in, and I'm just like it's new every year. It's not the same old thing over and over again. It's just new,
Yeah.
new, and I'm just like,
This is
oh.
why, Matt, I say you should go to Sci-Fi Weekender.
Well, yeah,
Because it's not about the merch. That's the thing. You go in there. There's barely any merch stalls.
Yeah.
There's about
There is
4,
no,
5.
there's no
max.
convention like it.
Yeah. It's not
It's
a
not even a
convention.
convention.
It's a festival.
It's a festival, and it's the largest one in Europe, I believe.
Yeah.
The largest, science fiction festival in Europe. Yeah, like get this man a press pass. Get him down.
The thing is, at the minute it's just like I really want to go because it seems like all roads lead to Sci-Fi Weekender. The amount of guests we've had on because of Sci-Fi Weekender, the amount of people I've met because of Sci-Fi Weekender and stuff. It's just like I feel like I know it so well now because we talk about it so much, and it's like I do want to go. It's just sort of like. It's 5 hours away, 5 hours drive, and part of me is going, I don't know if I love a convention that much to go all 5 hours, but I will 100% go next year.
Okay, you heard it here, guys.
Yeah, I'll go next year.
That's an exclusive.
I'll go next year. Yeah.
I would say. So I'm kind of upset. Like this journey that I've been on, I have obsessed over it, and I've knocked on doors, and I continue to knock on doors. So I will continue to knock on UK Games Expo's door and go hello until they have me. However, had I not done the first gig I ever done, had it not been a Sci-Fi Weekender, that was the first show that I ever did with this video, this idea that I had of putting my geeky stuff together and putting it into this music, this sort of DJ show. Would I have had the traction that I've had now? I'm not sure that I would have. And I do owe that show and people that go there such a great deal because it's such a community. And it's a really supportive community. So as soon as I did that show, my following went straight up, and the engagement from people that were there on my posts and things like that through social and videos and things like that people are uploading and tagging me in, it gave what I do some real weight. To what I do, which is why when they had the science fiction the awards show and I got that award, like I was so stoked. Like that was like to get that award for that show and to be recognized for that, and they're like, this was the first show you ever did, and he's gone on, he's American, and all these different things. It was lush. It was just amazing because I do genuinely believe that the people like Pete and everyone else that comes to that show is so supportive of all of the acts and all of the things that are there, and that's amazing. Like you just don't get that at other shows.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a community feel, and you have to come next year.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. I'll do it.
And we'll share a beer.
Yeah. Sounds good. Right. Fine. Pete can bribe.
It's going to be on my birthday again. So.
Okay.
Yeah. You can bribe me into
We'll do some Guinness.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I guess I've nailed my colours to my mast now. So I guess
Definitely.
that's it. So it's decided. It's done. So yeah. I can't get out of it. I'm really good at sort of like second desk. Oh, I don't know. It's so far away. Oh, I know. But
you only live once, Matt. You only live once.
Yeah. So yeah.
and again with that, there will be people that are coming from
Scotland,
your neck of there will be Scotland or anywhere that and people are sharing lifts. They're all jumping in with each other and making friends. And there's the group is like, oh, I'm coming from here. Oh, we've got space. Do you want to jump in? Like,
Yeah. Well, I think that the sci-fi weekender, that weekend is when the real strikes are. It's like everyone and people just kind of saying, well, just going like, oh, we're driving from Sheffield. Oh well, can we grab a lift for you? Great, excellent. Oh, is anyone driving from Birmingham? Oh, we are. So they're just working together to
yeah,
bring everyone together, and that is just wonderful to see.
Yep.
yeah.
It is. It sounds like a very wonderful, idealistic place and stuff. The amount of conversations we've had about all the guests and stuff, and everybody is always gushing about each other. It's always sort of like there's no bad words. It's just like they're the best people in the world, and then everybody's just so lovely and stuff. It's like, oh God, it's so sickeningly nice, isn't it?
And it's a holiday campsite in Great Yarmouth.
Yeah.
So that just tells you about how great it is, because it's a campsite in Great Yarmouth.
Great Yarmouth. Great Yarmouth. I've been to Great Yarmouth once. It was just like, yeah.
And it has a pool, and I'm going to take full advantage of it.
I took full advantage last time it was there. It was open. It wasn't open the time before that, was it? So
No,
fingers crossed. They have it open.
Do like a
I'll
good
have
pool.
a birthday dip.
Do like a good pool. Right. Okay. Well, before we go, like I said, we end our podcast now with our little sort of kind of pop quiz type thing. What we do is you will each name a franchise, and you can do that. So a geeky franchise sort of could be it could be Star Wars, it could be Marvel, it could be DC, it could be Game of Thrones, it could be The Expanse, something like that. You name a franchise, and then we have 60 seconds to guess a character that you thought about. So we'll do that. Only thing we would say is don't do what Pete does, is actually either have something that's so obscure that you're never going to guess it because it's like some comic book character from, some really small run that nobody's ever heard of, or don't make it so easy that it's just literally, it's Princess Leia, isn't it? So it's just sort of one of those things. So a nice in between, something challenging, but not too challenging. So, have a think about name a favorite. I'm not great on anime, by the way. My girlfriend loves it, but I don't know a lot about anime, so I wouldn't be able to sort of do much for the anime side of things. But
I'm just getting into it. Like, it's always, I mean, I've done the classics like Akira and all of those kind of things, Cowboy Bebop, all of that. But the more and more I've gone to these conventions, the more I'm seeing this kind of easterly kind of takeover, basically. And so started to play more and more K-pop, which I then was like, oh my God, I love K-pop, apparently. This is like amazing.
Yeah.
I was in Korea. I was in Korea for my mate's wedding, and there was just K-pop all over the place, and I was just like, I kind of enjoy this. It's really weird.
It's so catchy. It's ridiculous. It's like the boy band and girl bands of the early noughties.
Yeah.
With even more bubblegum thrown on top, which is great. And then I just kind of started watching more and more anime, and like I'm absolutely loving it. So like I tend to find myself in the gym. I hate the gym, by the way, but when I go to the gym, I put anime on my phone. And I'm just watching anime while I'm working out, and don't even realize I'm working out, which is great. So, Chainsaw Man and Demon Slayer and all stuff like that.
I want to watch Chainsaw Man. That looks really good.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's so
I can do really
good fun. It's kind of easy watch. It doesn't hold back on anything, so it's just you can sit down, you can watch it and enjoy it. And I enjoyed it so much I started reading the books. So
okay, I'll check them out.
Okay, so I'll hit you with our first guess. So you've got 60 seconds. I need to get my stopwatch out here. Stopwatch. Okay, so the franchise is Star Wars. You have 60 seconds to guess the character. So 60 seconds, Star Wars, go.
Is it in the films?
No.
Is it in a TV series?
Yes.
Is it a live action TV series?
They are in a live action TV series, yes.
Is it in The Mandalorian?
They are in The Mandalorian.
Okay, are they human?
Yes.
Okay, are they male?
No.
Are they female?
Yes.
Cara
Are
Dune?
they? Sorry,
Cara Dune?
No.
were they in the last episode?
They were in the last episode of The Mandalorian, yes.
Was it played by the lead that played Cara Freight from Battlestar Galactica?
Yes.
Damn it! I can't remember the name. Help me, Levi. You're my only hope.
I know, I can see her on a throne.
Yes,
Being all,
exactly.
being all
Okay,
aggravated
right. So you
and-
got one more question. You got one
It's
more
like,
question.
mm.
You got one more question, and then you have to guess.
I know who it is. I just don't know the name.
I'm literally trying to go into the like.
The inner
Just
recesses of your
literally-
nerd brain.
Yeah, well, do you know what? All I can see in my head is the Black Series helmet and the box.
Played by Katie Sackhoff.
Yes. Yes.
What's her name? Come on, what's the character's name?
Oh.
Bo-Katan.
Yes.
Bo-Katan. Also in the Clone Wars.
Yes, she was.
Yes. Okay, so that's it. There you go. Pete, what do you got for us?
Willow.
Ooh, interesting. I haven't seen the new series, by the way. Are we talking
Me
film?
neither.
No,
And the last time
actually,
I saw Willow was. I can't
So we're
even
talking about the
remember.
first film. We're talking about the first Willow, the first film. Right. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Right. So Willow, 60 seconds. Go. Okay. So, are they one of the? It's not what do they call them? The pecks, the little people. What do they call the?
No, they're not.
They're not
Nope.
peck. Are they a part of? Is it Mordrith? Is it Mordrith? Is the name of the?
No, not part of Mordrith. No.
Okay. Male?
No.
Female?
Yes.
Is it Mad Mardigan's girlfriend?
Nope.
Ah, God. Okay.
They're also
I'm-
in the TV series as well. To be fair, which is a massive clue.
Oh, is it? What's her called? What's the baby called? Is it the baby? Is the baby Alana? Alora Dannon.
Yes.
Boom, Alora Dannon. Yes. There
With
we
some
go.
help. With some help.
Yeah,
I will
yeah,
add.
yeah. I'm sorry. We used to love Willow growing up, man. I just loved that. Yeah, sorry.
TV series was fun. It actually had Christian Slater in one episode
Really? Okay.
as a troll.
I still haven't watched it yet, so it's on my list.
I have it.
It's the dialogue is fun. It's moderately well acted. The plot is bobbins.
Okay, right.
It's enjoy it for the dialogue because the dialogue is fantastic. Whoever wrote the dialogue absolutely nailed it. Some of the narrative is just.
Okay, right. I say I was in two minds. I was talking to one of my mates called Alistair, and he was saying, "Oh, it's I just can't watch it. It's not great." And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to destroy the film. I love the film growing up, so I'm just like, not."
It has the same vibe as the film. The film has a very fun approach. It didn't take itself too seriously, and the Willow TV series kind of follows that sentimentality. Do not expect Game of Thrones, basically.
The monster in Willow, what the two-headed one? What's it called? The Ebersisk.
Cerberus.
It's apparently it's basically a representation of two really bad critics. Like there was two critics at the time, film critics who he actually like smashed. He completely sort of kind of dished it. So they named because it didn't have a name, and they sort of named it after them. So I think it's like both of their names stuck together from.
Yeah.
Okay, Leroy, you're up. What have you got for us?
Oh, let's go. How good's your DC superheroes?
Ish, but I'm sure Pete's better than me. But we'll see. We can try. We can try.
I'm not. No.
Shall I go for shall I go for an easier one, or I've got
As long as
a
it's
slightly trickier one, or
is it as long as it's not super. I know. I'm not a massive comic book nerd and stuff like that, but I can sort of. I know some of the comic books.
Okay, well let's go with it. Let's
Okay,
see
okay.
what
Yeah.
we get to.
Okay, so
Be enough words.
DC, 60 seconds, go. Do they have any films?
Not yet.
Ooh. Do they have are they in any TV series?
They have appeared in the TV show, yes.
Right, okay, so potentially has a
Have-
film coming up.
Have they had an appearance in a film?
No.
Right. Okay.
So they've been in the so they might have a film coming up. They've
Harley Quinn. No, she's been. No, ignore that. Sorry.
so we got all right. Okay, male.
Male.
Okay. Have they got superpowers?
They have.
They have superpowers. Okay, so male superpowers have been in a TV series. May
Are
have
they
a
human?
film.
They are human.
Right. Okay.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, so one more question each, and then an answer. Okay. So if they've been in a TV series, might have a film. Were they in the Arrowverse?
Yes.
Okay.
Appeared in the
Right.
Arrowverse.
Film potential. Oh,
Go for it, Matt.
it's gonna be a part of. It's the new. Fuck. What's it called? God, no. Because James Gunn was talking about this group. It's not
Ooh.
Captain Cold, is it?
No.
Oh, right. Okay.
Are they a villain or a hero?
Hero.
Just checking. Right.
Coming of age story as well. Young hero.
Oh, fuck. What's his name? Batman. What's his name? What's his son called?
No.
No. Okay, I don't know that. I'm gonna have to
It's
go.
not Damien. It's not. They were going to do Brave and the Bold, weren't they? With,
Yeah.
Damian Wayne.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I thought it might be Damian Wayne. Yeah, I give up. Then what is it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Blue Beetle.
Oh shit!
Of course, yeah.
Yes. So the guy who plays the chap in Karate Kid. He's coming over to be Jamie Reese and the new Blue Beetle in the movies. Yeah. And they have had him over in. It was in that Final Crisis crossover, wasn't it? I think he appeared in that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
a completely different actor. So
right.
yeah, I tried to.
No, but yeah, very good. So
That was good.
They're the best
Very
ones.
nicely done.
It's like you get ones where it's just like you just haven't got a clue. At least they're sort of kind of I know about them, so I was like I could have got them had I sort of been.
Well, that's how I felt with the Willow one. I love Willow, and I just have fond memories of Willow.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you anything about it. Like, I just remember it being great. And it's one of those things I kind of don't want to go back to. Like,
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to watch the original He-Man cartoon, or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Thundercats, the original ones? They live in your mind as these beautiful things, but when you go back to watch them, they're really tough. They're really hard to watch.
It's like retro games. It's like retro games and stuff. If you go sort of like I grew up on retro games and I loved. Well, they wouldn't be retro then. 80s and 90s. There's just been normal games, but I remember like I go to these arcades like Arcade Club. And it's just like pure nostalgia. But then you go back and you're playing like the Turtles arcade game and you're going, I fucking loved this game when I was a kid. And then you're just bashing the same button for like 20 minutes. And you're just like, yeah, there's not a lot to this game, is it? And it's literally just how much money you can pump into it and stuff to win and stuff. And it's just like, yeah, I can see why, I remember me and my brother completing that at the airport. We were waiting for my to get a flight, and the amount of money my dad probably gave us to go through it. But it wasn't because there was any skill. There was no skill involved in what's it. It's just because we put about 20 quid into it to sort of kind of,
It's just, do you want to continue? Yes, I do.
Yeah, so
Carry on. Let's go through the level.
Carry on.
Here's another 5 minutes.
That's it. There's no skill. There was no skill based in those arcade games. It's just like how much money can you pump into it and to sort of get to it. It's like I was playing like the Simpsons game, and I was sitting there kind of going, I can't get past this boss because I'm literally just going to get hit there's no way of getting past it without getting hit. So I'm just going to die and I'm going to have to reset and stuff. And it's just like they knew how to get money out of kids back in those days.
Oh, absolutely.
Big time. Right.
We're all there.
Right. It's been an absolute pleasure, Leroy. I really appreciate your time again.
Thanks for having me.
And good luck.
It's been lovely being on.
Yeah, good luck with Sci-Fi Weekender and everything you've got coming up. If you've got anything new, by all means, let us know. And I will see you next year at Sci-Fi Weekender. I might actually, if you're Manchester May the 4th and stuff, I'll try and get myself down into Manchester.
You will get yourself down there, Matt. It is May the 4th, and it's Leroy to do it. You will not be disappointed.
May the 4th at Fab Cafe. So I'll come down and grab a beer with you.
Yeah, that's going to be an absolute blast. I think last time I played for the May the 4th weekend, and last year, and I did it was Satan's Hollow, which they
you've done
two
Satan's
venues.
Yeah.
So I did Satan's Hollow. That was great, but I think this time it's actually going to be in Fab Cafe as well.
Have you been to Fab?
And a Thursday night. So
have you been to Fab Cafe before?
Only to go and have a look at it. So I went over. I literally had booked me to do the May the 4th, and I was like, "Yes, great." And they're like, "Yeah, you're in Satan's Hollow," and I was like, "What? What's that?" So I did that, which is an amazing venue as well. Playing in like the Devil's Cauldron,
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, I need to see Fab Cafe. Like, you as a geek, you kind of hear about these places, and it's like that's one of the ones I wanted to visit. So it's up there with the Cantina in Walt Disney World. Star Wars.
Right. Well, I'll try my best to get down to see you then, May the 4th.
I'll see you next week as well, Leroy.
You will indeed, my friends. You will indeed. On their Thursday night for the awards night, playing afterwards, and then Saturday night, obviously, for the big finale.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Big party that we just had.
Cool. Right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much. For me, I've been Matt Geary. With me has been Peter Allison.
Good night, everyone.
And our guest, Level Up Leroy.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Bye.
A pleasure. Bye.